Hello and welcome to the OCVarsity Gridiron Show. Steve Fryer to my left, Dan Albano to my... Oh, he's not to my right this week, Steve. Dan Albano's on assignment. He couldn't make it to the Gridiron this week, but we will see him next week. Dan's all over the place in Orange County covering
water polo.
Yeah.
Nice day to be by a pool.
Oh, you ain't kidding. Hot day today in Southern California. Steve, our game of the week is 6-2, 2-1. Number one, still Mater Dei. At number 2, JSerra. They are 7-1 on the year. The Lions, they beat Olu 56-21 last week. Caden Bell had 3 touchdowns passing. Chris Street also had 3 touchdowns on the ground. Steve, the Lions last beat Mater Dei in 2014. That was a 17-10 score. I believe we were both at that game. That was a huge win for JSerra. But you've said this could be their best team ever. Yeah. Are they good enough to beat Mater Dei?
It's an interesting game in a lot of ways. For JSerra, you know, program-wise, they know that they can win. They've proved it, you know, back, like you said, a few years ago. With this group of kids, what they have to do is they have to realize early in the game that, yeah, they can hang with these guys. You know, if Mater Dei comes out and kind of does what St. John Bosco did last week. Remember last week, St. John Bosco had 3 touchdowns, first 3 or 4 possessions. First drive was just like bingo, bingo, you know, run for 10 yards, pass for 12. Suddenly they're in the end zone. If Mater Dei is able to do that, they're going to shake JSerra's confidence early and build their own confidence up. But if like Mater Dei goes 3 and out or you know, punts pretty early and then JSerra gets the ball and they score first, that's going to change things around. It's going to give JSerra a ton of confidence that, yeah, we can play with these guys. We can hang with these guys. And then later on in the second half, we can beat these guys. But really, it's going to sort of like be like the Bosco Mater Dei game. It's who establishes their will early in that football game.
And Bryce Young was sacked 4 times in the loss to St. John Bosco. Yep. How will the Monarchs respond to a deflating loss? We will see this Friday night. All right, also in South County League action, it's the newly 4-4 forfeited wins here for Mission Viejo. They're number 3 on the year. They will be at number 10 San Clemente, which, hey, they're streaking. Yeah. San Clemente, they've won 3 straight. They beat Capistrano Valley last week, 35-26. Head coach Jaime Ortiz using some gridiron motivation, as you see in this photo here, watching us last week as Dan and Steve picked the other guys. But hey, whatever gets it done, Coach. You had a lot of those, right, Steve?
Oh, I've written more pregame speeches than Vince Lombardi. You know, anytime I've told coaches this, hey, need some help motivating your kids? Just read what we wrote, and we'll take care of it for you, fellas.
Call Steve, email him up. It's all good. Mission Viejo's coming off a bye, and as I mentioned, they forfeited 4 games. So similar to the Monarchs in a way, how will they respond after some, what's the word I'm coming up with here, Steve?
Adversity.
Adversity. He went to college, and so did I, but you know.
That's a lot of syllables for me, adversity. You know, with Mission Viejo, you know, they have to realize that they won those games in the field, and they're still really good. You know, Joey Yellen's having a great year. Keely Arnold's having a great year. On paper, you know, Mission Viejo should win this game. But like you said, and like Jaime Ortiz knows, and he's telling his guys, they're the hot team right now, and their confidence has got to be sky high. Costello's having a really good year for them, continue that tradition of really good quarterbacking that they've had at San Clemente over several years. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's San Clemente's home game, too. They really play well over there at their wonderful field right near the Pom Pom Cafe, one of our favorite pregame dining joints. Tri-tip, yeah, they do it all over there pretty gosh darn good. I'm already ready to go. I was going to go to JSerra Mater Dei. Maybe I should go to this game now that we're talking good food. But I, you know, Mission Viejo still has the edge in this game. You know, on paper, still the better team. And they're going to probably want to get it going again. They may be worried about what that overall record looks like come playoff time. Get a couple wins here, win the league championship, and they don't really care about those four forfeits in terms of what it may do to them in Division I seeding that comes out in a couple weeks.
2 more weeks, right, of the regular season, and then we're right into the playoffs. Okay, we're not going to preview a final game. We're just going to call this our free-for-all segment, guys, and I want to talk about Lightning Gate. Steve, in all of your years, your 60, 70, 80 years, covering high school athletics, you know I love you, Steve. Have you ever seen anything like this? What happened Friday night?
Well, back when I was covering leather helmet football, I think in the 30s there may have been a game like this, Jonathan. But as far as like lightning strikes here, I'm sure they deal with this in the Midwest and Texas and places like that. But here, oh, no.
We're not used to that.
Now, 2 games were actually played.
Yeah, surprisingly.
And I'm still working on finding out
Why?
How those games get played and the other ones didn't.
I'm driving back on the 5 South. I'm seeing lightning in every direction, so I was surprised those games were played.
Yeah, so we'll see. Still have to do a little bit of work on that. But Corona del Mar Los Al was not played, and I think that's what we're getting to here. Yes. Los Al apparently had their home field ready to go. It's not a big varsity level football field. It's a lower level football field, but on a Saturday afternoon, and apparently Corona del Mar didn't have more than 100 people at Cerritos College for the game that was stopped when it was 7-7. Wow. And so nobody could agree, like, whose fault is it we're playing a tie? I've heard, well, no, they wouldn't do that. Oh, no, they wouldn't do that. So I don't know what to say, guys. But all I know, it's a 7-7 tie. And I wish they'd played. And I bet a bunch of kids on both teams said, dang it, we worked hard all week. We did our pregame meals. We're ready to go. We should have played.
We all wanted to see it. I mean, it was a fantastic matchup between two look like evenly matched teams for the right to call themselves the Sunset League champion. But now it'll just end up in a tie. And, I wish cooler heads would have prevailed.
It does. It helps them in terms of the standings go, too. And here's the other thing. If you're the #1 team in your league, you go into the playoffs as a #1 representative of your league. So you get a first-round home game against another league's #3 or a large team, something like that. Corona del Mar and Edison are in different playoff divisions. They both, if they tie for the championship.
Wait, do you mean Corona del Mar and Los Alamitos?
Yeah, that's what I said. Did I say Edison? I got Edison in my mind because I think they got messed up in this whole deal. So Corona del Mar and Los Alamitos are in different playoff divisions. Los Al Division 2, CDM is in Division 4. They would both, if they're tied for the league title, they would both get to keep that #1 playoff representation number next to them. They would both go as the #1 team into their playoff bracket and get a first-round playoff game. It's kind of sneaky how it happens.
It's all making more sense to me now. The conspiracy theorist in me coming out.
I'm not a conspiracy guy at all. I really believe there's no Bigfoot, and I think Elvis is actually dead. But, I think these things kind of help both teams out.
I don't know. I've seen the Loch Ness Monster in my pool one time. All right. Thanks to Steve Fryer. I'm Jonathan Khamis. Dan Albano will be out at the games. I'll be out at El Dorado this Friday night for an all-access game. Steve is going to flip a coin and decide whether he's going to be at Mater Dei, JSerra.
I am going to Catella Savannah on Thursday. I'm looking
for it. It's going to be really good, too.
Yeah,
that's going to be great. And Catella's been on a tear as well as anybody we've seen.
6 games. Went to the running clock for Catella of their 7 games this year. 6 of them running clock. Woo!
Shout out to the Knights, CIF champs. All right. Thank you, Steve. I'm Jonathan. Bye.
Bye, Dan.